I'm going to start by telling you a bit about the reason why we thought we needed a new CLI. And then Silvio will give you a demo. So I think maybe the first question will be like, why did we need a new CLI? And especially why did we need to build it from scratch? So one problem we've heard over and over again, and one we also experienced as LocalStack developers, is the fact that it was built in Python created a lot of friction because of the nature of Python, there is no binary and it has a lot of dependency to your machine. So one example is your Python version. So we decided to build it in Go. So it comes, in a binary with 0 dependencies to your environment. Of course, also because of the fact that it's built in Go, it's faster. It's faster to start. It's faster to execute than Python. And it's easier to distribute than the previous CLI. You can already find it available on NPM, Brew, GitHub releases. You can also build it from sources if you like. It's available publicly on GitHub. But there will be more to come. Another thing that we've heard was causing some frustration is updating the CLI. And we've built right in the new CLI an update command that work seamlessly, independently of your distribution, independently of the way you installed it. Then we designed it to work for multi-emulators from day one. So by emulator, I mean you are mostly familiar with the AWS emulator we built, but we also have a Snowflake emulator, and there will be an Azure emulator coming soon. So we want the CLI to work. Maybe you have infrastructure that's using both Snowflake and AWS, and you want to be deploying your resources on those two emulators without needing to choose one or another, which was like the big problem with the legacy CLI. And then the other thing, which I think is going to be much easier with the new CLI, is the configuration. So the way you do it with the legacy CLI is mostly through environment variables. But what we built in lstk is a toml config. And what's really great about that is it will automatically pick up your local config, which means, if you have multiple projects that are all using a different environment for LocalStack, you can just have different configurations in your various projects, and you can check that in your repo and have version control for it. Now, I also wanted to tell you a bit about what we think are the highlights, the nicest feature of lstk. The number one, I think, is the authentication, which is much simpler than what you experienced with the V1 of the CLI. You used to have to go and find your token in the browser, copy paste it, and export it in your shell. So this is way simpler now. The new CLI is opening your browser. You don't have to click anything. It's just going to fetch your token for you and store it safely in your system's keyring. We developed a new command, which is the status command, which I think is super cool. It's listing all of your deployed resources across all of your services. So you can really see in one glance all of the work you did, all of the resources you deployed. And then the last highlight I wanted to talk about, and that you will see in a second in the demo of Silvio, is the new TUI. So we have a great UI that is much more interactive with actionable error messages. We know, for example, that the logs output in the legacy CLI was kind of overwhelming, and we've worked on filtering those logs, making them colored so it's much easier to understand what's going on. We've worked on giving really actionable feedback. So say if your Docker daemon is not running, you'd get a very clear message with a suggestion to actually solve that, and some rotating tips to help you get started very quickly and deploy your resources in your emulators. Now onto the demo. Silvio will take the stage and show you what we worked on.
Yes. Sorry, I had to restart right now. I'm not sure. I had some minor things breaking with my setup. But I think it should be working now. All right. Let me set up everything. Okay, let's go. Can switch to my screen. Okay, so as you can see, like in our setup, we have like a new getting started page, which tells you to install LSTK with Homebrew, which is what we've done already here. We've installed LSTK version 0.5.3. However, most recently, we also came out with version 0.5.4. So this, like the first feature you'll see here is that we can update the CLI immediately when you use it. And it's running brew upgrade. Okay, something broke, sorry. Basically, to explain what broke, something is going wrong with my terminal right now, and when I execute some commands, they just don't run. But let's let me just quickly fix that. And this is the typical demo effect. I've gone in, and if I go in and rebuild it as a new binary, I can then copy it over into my local bin folder, then uninstall it in Homebrew. And if I go back in here and I run it, it will ask me to update it. It will download the new version. Basically, what I did right now is just I rebuilt it with a different version, so I can showcase the update command. It updates itself to 0.5.4. Then when I try using it again, another thing breaks. This time it's a planned break. I actually planned it before. We want to showcase if you have some issues, for example, with Docker, we immediately recognize it. And can tell you what you could do. Maybe like you haven't started Docker Desktop, then you would need to start it. But here we also have the error message for that, and says that Docker Desktop is manually paused right now, something I just did before, and we can just resume it. Then if that's done, what will happen is obviously it opened it on the wrong. So I've got LocalStack on the wrong browser open right now. So I'll need to copy it here. Sorry for those disruptions. It just
no
happens.
problem.
It should.
Can you hear me? Can you make the text a little bit bigger?
Yeah,
the audience is asking for.
Yeah,
I can barely see it. Perfect. That's a little bit more.
Let's go.
Perfect. There you go. Thank you.
All right. So if you would have only one browser window open, it would open it here directly next to you. And then you can authorize it I can just click then enter here. You're logged in. It takes your auth token, makes everything ready for you. And then it starts the container. And what it also asks now is, can it configure a profile in .aws for you? I would just say yes. And what it then does is in your AWS profiles, it creates an extra LocalStack profile that you can use to just interact with LocalStack. So let us just do that. I'll also use this opportunity to just show that we also can show logs, because usually before with the LocalStack container, now with the old LocalStack CLI, you just see the logs immediately. We decided to not have it here because you can just do the logs afterwards, and we have like some new features planned for the regular startup flow, which won't be only logs. So we have this logs command now to just follow the logs. You can see we also have like a bit more styling in here. So you only see like the things that are important and so on. And we can then try this command that we suggested here after creating the profile to go against LocalStack. So you can see it goes against the instance that we've started. One thing I also like a lot in our web app, where you can also see that it's started here, is that in this overview, you can see that something was added. And in fact, we liked it so much, we also added it to the CLI. So you can just do lstk status, and then you would see the same thing. So we see that we've created this bucket. There's, of course, like a bunch of other resources you'll be able to see here. It's just for showcasing purposes. Yeah, so then there's another thing in here. We can see not a lot of logs. Sometimes things like you might want to see some debug logs or set up something different. And then you would want to like pass some environment variables to the container. For this new CLI, we've reimagined how this should work. So this would go through the configuration file that we have. So to know where the configuration file is, you can just do lstk config path, and it would tell you it's in the config directory at lstk and config toml. So if we want to look at it, we can just do that, and we can see the format. We've automatically created one, which just creates an AWS container on 4566, like it's usually done. And you have some other extra options that you can do that there. For example, if you would want some debug environment, you would then change it so that you pass an environment to this container, which you have defined here. I could change this in this global config file, but another thing we've added is actually having this having this local config files. So if you have like a project, for example, in the future, we always said we want to enable multi-emulator support. So if you have maybe a project where you use Azure and maybe one project where you use AWS, you could have different configs there, so that you start one or the other, or you maybe want some kind of different environment variables that you want to pass. So if you go into some projects like this demo project, then what you would do is like you would just create an LSTK folder, and then you would copy that config into there. And now if I do LSTK config path, you'll see that it will prefer this local config. So if I go into Vim and change this, I can then change this environment and use this debug environment that I've defined below here. And I can comment this, remove the comments here. And now if I do lstk stop to stop the container and restart it again, maybe let's wait a bit here. And if I do lstk again, it will start. Looks like we've released just now a new latest image. This is also something that we've changed, that will pull the latest image so that you're always updated. We've noticed sometimes people think they're on the latest image, but if you don't actually pull it previously, it's just one latest image that you've pulled in the past, and you're not actually on latest. So now we can see LSTK status again. It started, no resources deployed. And if we do LSTK logs follow, you can see a bunch of extra logs in here, like the debug logs that we've set up. So this is how you can quickly change your configs. If I would now go out of here and do again an LSTK stop and a subsequent LSTK start, it would not use that local config anymore because we're not in this local config. If we then do follow, we see that there are no debug logs anymore. So yeah, that's like our main flow that we want to enable right now with the new CLI. Yeah, that's mostly just shows like our philosophy with the new CLI to make everything just work seamlessly. You just type LSTK, and in most cases it should work. It should enable like some configuration options and so on, and some advanced features that are coming in the upcoming quarter. But the core philosophy is to make it seamless for everyone. So that's the demo.